Alright, I've been trying to get this video done for quite a while, but I was finally able to pull together all the pieces while having time to construct the full argument. The topic is TikTok and why I absolutely despise the platform, believe it to be, in certain capacities, dangerous, and will never ever support this new social media giant or encourage anyone to use it. In fact, I will actively discourage its usage at any and every possible turn for a number of reasons which I will outline today. I'll be the first to admit I got it wrong with TikTok originally. When I first saw the platform emerge and understood fundamentally what it was, I thought to myself, yeah, it will be popular, but that's a flash in the pan. That's a fad. It won't rival other social media sites like Twitter or Facebook or what have you. Well, fast forward to early 2020, and the app has a rapidly growing user base already in excess of 800 million, on track to easily rival, or already larger than, other social media platforms. The evolution of what TikTok really is can be summarized rather quickly. Musical.ly was a small music lip sync app which created the general framework for what TikTok would become and was acquired by ByteDance in late 2017. Musical.ly was turned into TikTok, which expanded on the type of content allowed, and ultimately, here we are, with videos reacting to videos and some of the most viral internet content on the entire web housed within the TikTok servers. Now, that timeline is very important, and ByteDance is important, so keep those two things in mind, 2017 and ByteDance. So let's really get started. The biggest reason I despise TikTok and will actively seek to warn users away from using it, the reason I will mostly focus on for today, is because the platform is a propaganda technology arm of the Chinese government. Here's where a bunch of people roll their eyes and think, wow, UEG, you're really drinking the Kool-Aid, huh? But please bear with me for just a minute. TikTok, originally based on the Musical.ly app, is owned and operated by ByteDance Limited. ByteDance Limited is a Beijing-based technology firm. Now, simply being a Chinese company might not seem like it is concrete evidence of any affiliation with the official Communist Party. However, referencing back to 2017, official Chinese national security and company law policies were updated, which outlined how individuals and corporate offices would be obligated to assist with data collection, public security, national security, and a variety of other governmental tasks and activities when called upon. This new legislation was passed in record time during 2017, causing remarks to be made by many separate outlets over the expediency. And to go further, there was a tremendous amount of foreign pushback to this new law because the implications were somewhat alarming. IT companies, for instance, were concerned that it might compel them, for any office or base of operations located within mainland China, which is a great many companies, to cooperate with party officials in various activities, from investigations to full-on surveillance, then allowing the official party to access their private records or services for their own purpose. The articles relevant are 12 and 14, reading as follows. Article 12. National intelligence work institutions may, according to relevant state regulations, establish cooperative relationships with relevant individuals and organizations and commission them to carry out related work. Article 14. National intelligence work institutions, when carrying out intelligence work according to laws, may ask relevant institutions, organizations, and citizens to provide necessary support, assistance, and cooperation. This is already a foreign policy nightmare, and there's even more extreme rhetoric in the official document, but for the sake of time, I'll move on. Now, I am no legal expert, but based on everything I've read from various sources, technically this law could be applied to US-based companies operating in China, because any company wishing to officially operate within China must first establish an official partner to effectively do business by proxy. As an easy example, Activision Blizzard does not actually do business themselves in China. They partner with NetEase, who performs the role of publisher within mainland China regions the same way that Activision Blizzard would themselves. Difference being, the Communist Party maintains more control. But pushing that aside, it can certainly be applied in full capacity to Chinese-based companies, such as those operating out of Beijing. ByteDance is a Beijing-headquartered unicorn startup. A unicorn startup is a company that remains privatized rather than publicly traded, and ByteDance was classified as one of the most valuable unicorn startups in the entire world during 2018. ByteDance has also drawn severe criticism over alleged and suspected partnerships between themselves and the Communist Party to utilize local TikTok reflection Douyin to quite literally disperse actual propaganda within China itself and help facilitate the human rights violations of certain religious groups. Even without a willing partnership for the sake of propaganda dispersal between ByteDance and the Central Chinese Communist Party, the 2017 cybersecurity legislation makes it easily possible for the enterprise to be co-opted by the state for almost any purpose at all, and ByteDance would be obligated to comply. Bringing it back to TikTok here, this would mean that information housed by ByteDance could be used by the communist government. It would mean that anything and everything users have entered, posted, shared, or interacted with on TikTok could be picked through, stored, and exploited by the Chinese government. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's reality. This concern is amplified in relevant sectors of American government. For instance, the US Army has now banned TikTok from being installed on any official device after the growing scrutiny regarding its actual relationship with the Chinese government reached critical mass. And to make a sharp turn away from cybersecurity or data collection, while still focusing on the relationship between the popular social media app and China, we merely need to look at disabled user content. Now, when I say disabled user content, I don't mean the content itself being disabled or censored or taken down, though that does happen a tremendous amount on TikTok. I mean the actual human user creating the content having some sort of visible disability. Internal moderation documents were obtained which outline how TikTok staff were being forced to hard lock and disable the reach of any disabled users that they found, restricting them to under a certain number of views, public number of views, usually in the range of a few hundred or a couple thousand, in order to protect them from potential cyberbullying. But that's just a shallow excuse. The real reason is because Communist China has strict social policies against disabled people, viewing them to be disgusting or deficient. Here is where I need to make something extremely clear. I am not saying that Chinese people or citizens have these particular prejudicial feelings. I am saying that they are being forced from the top down by an orbital railgun of a government to conform within certain social guidelines. This is not meant as a slight against Chinese people, not in any capacity whatsoever. It is meant to underline why TikTok censoring disabled user content is most likely a direct Communist Party mandate based on historical treatment of disabled demographics. In China, the word "canfei," and I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but C-A-N-F-E-I, was used for many years to describe disabled individuals. It was a loosely translated hybrid word between incomplete, deficient, and useless. But more recently, that has been changed, as far as I have been told, to kanji, C-A-N-J-I, which carries closer ties to disease or sickness. However, the pursuit of social perfection by the Communist Party has created a strange double standard in the country. Outwardly, China is possibly a world leader in disabled rights and policy, but internally, there is a different reality, one of intentional neglect, a facade of perfection, maintained and perpetuated by pushing disabled people out of the public eye. This behavior is what we saw from TikTok before the internal moderation policies were leaked. However, with little to no actionable intelligence from within ByteDance itself, we can only speculate what policies are actually being enforced. How about a totally new angle? TikTok, more than any other social media platform in existence, is conducive to pedophile activity. Differing from other video sharing apps like Snapchat, for instance, there is much less of a barrier between users and the general public. TikTok will actually expand your social circle to users who the algorithm suspects as being similar to you. That is where the problem comes from, because pedophiles will often pretend to be children themselves and exploit the algorithmic promotion to find children with public profiles, because in effect, they are being served right to them, whereas in the past, they would have to seek them out themselves. Now, to be fair, other platforms have gone through similar issues in the past. YouTube comes to mind with various instances of predatory content and inappropriate behavior in the comment section, such as timestamping on particular videos. I won't go in depth on that. If you want to know more, you are welcome to look it up. It's kind of disgusting. But platforms like YouTube do not have as much of a peer-to-peer driven relationship, populated by a huge number of children. YouTube's primary function is allowing users to post their content for whatever purpose they want, not facilitating peer-to-peer reactions and exchanges. It can do that, certainly it can, but that's not the primary purpose. The average user base for TikTok is quite young, and when you have a combination of these factors on an app that emerged at lightning speed and in many ways will be unknown to or misunderstood by parental figures, it creates a very serious risk. I want to refrain from the age-old "but think of the children" argument here, because a large chunk of the TikTok subculture is just memes and trolls and jokes. Some of it is extremely funny and is really enjoyable, and it has even created celebrities practically overnight, as is the case with the OK Boomer Bernie girl. But looking at the functionality of the platform, the elevated risks compared to other more traditional and more veteran social media, I cannot justify anything other than a condemnation of TikTok and find myself encouraging anyone who will listen not to use this app. TikTok was also sued for allegedly gathering user biometric data to send to China. That may sound far-fetched, honestly it does, but let's connect the dots here. For the algorithm to determine that a user is disabled and then moderate that content, even if the majority of this was happening at a physical or human level, with actual people making those moderations, if it happened in any capacity at all through automated systems, that would mean the app is gathering biometric data to some degree on users who upload to the platform. The lawsuit then alleges that the data is sent to multiple other servers and a huge amount of information is gathered: IP address, email, geographic location, social network contacts, and much more. TikTok was also placed under official US government national security review in late 2019. However, with the recent pandemic, it is really unlikely that that has progressed very much, if at all, in recent months. Bottom line, TikTok seems on the outside like a fun little kid-friendly video sharing app, but on the inside, it is anything but innocent and could be outright sinister. All of these factors combined lead me to say with heartfelt sincerity when anyone I know mentions the app, don't use it. Please don't use it. And at the very least, don't let young children use it because the risk to them is exponentially more severe. It's appealing to chase social media fame in today's day and age. It absolutely is. But for TikTok, that might come at a ridiculously disproportionate cost. But that's it. Those are just some of the reasons why I personally despise TikTok as a platform. And having seen the rapid ascent from cult following to full-blown internet spotlight, I thought it was about time to make this video and explain that perspective. If you want to support, there are links down below: merch, Patreon, Twitter, another YouTuber to support, and other social media. Not TikTok, though, by the way. Though to be fair, most social media, if not all of it, has some sort of data gathering or surveillance issue. So maybe don't follow those if you are concerned at all. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.